Hi, Steve Gailey. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to join my Windows 10 client onto my domain. So I've got my domain controller running here, and let's just have a look at my domain controller. My domain is steve.local, and if I go and have a look at the IP address of my domain controller, I can see that my IP address is 192.168.1.10. And if I look at the settings of my domain controller, if I go into machine settings, then I can see on my networking that I'm attached to internal network internet CS. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at my Windows client, and I'm just going to go to my Windows client network settings. And I'm going to go to network settings, and currently it's attached to a network because I've just done the install. So I'm going to attach it to internal network, and I'm going to choose Internet CS, which is the same internal network as the server is connected to. I'm going to click OK. So now I'm going to start up my client. So I'll start my client up, and I'll log into my client. And the next thing I need to do once I've logged into my client is I need to change the IP address of my client to an IP address which matches the internal network Internet CS and is on the same subnet as my Windows server. So let's just go back and have a look at my Windows server again. So we can see here that our IP address here is 192.168.1.10, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. So I'm going to make this Windows client 192.168.1.2. So we'll just go to my client and log in. Password one. And so I'm going to go to my adapter options, open network settings, and I'm going to go and change the TCP/IP adapter. If I go to Ethernet and change adapter options, and now right-click this and go to my Ethernet properties, and then go to TCP/IP and properties, and I'm going to use the following IP address: 192.168. Now I'm on the one network. Depending on what your network is, you would put your network in there. If you're network 20, then you'd have 1.20 on 1.1. I'm on the one network, and I'm going to make this 1.2. Subnet mask, default subnet mask, and my default gateway will be 192.168.1.1, which doesn't exist. Whoops, 1.1, which doesn't exist, and the DNS server, I'm just going to say use 192.168.1.10 because my Windows server is also my DNS server. So once I've joined the domain, then it can use this Windows server to resolve DNS addresses. So I'm going to hit OK and close that. Now, what I want to do, the first thing is before I join the domain, I need to make sure that I've got network connectivity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up the command prompt on my client and run the command prompt and pin that to the taskbar while I'm here. And I'm just going to see if I can ping 192.168.1.10. And I can. So that means I've got network connectivity now with my server. And if I go to my server and I ping 192.168.1.2, I should be able to ping the client if the Windows firewall will let me. And it doesn't look like it's going to. But that's okay. I can change that if I want to, but at the moment I'll just leave it as that. So yeah, so if I go to the client, which one's my client? This is my client. If I go to my client, I'd need to enable ping on the Windows firewall settings to be able to ping the client. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a go at joining the domain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to minimize these windows, and I'm just going to go to the Start menu, and I'm going to type in PC and this PC, and I'm going to right click this and go to Properties and bring up the PC properties. And you can see this is the properties of the PC. And I'm going to go to Advanced System Settings, and I'm going to go to Computer Name, and I'm going to go to Change, and I'm going to change the settings. And you can see here it's got computer name, and it's got member of domain. So I'm going to change the computer name to W10 client, and I'm going to change the domain to steve.local is my domain name, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to prompt me for an administrator password, so to be able to join the domain. So what I need to do is I need to type in my domain credentials. So I'm going to put administrator at steve.local. At steve.local and my administrator password, password 1, and hit OK. And that's going to domain, and it's going to, you can see here it's joined my computer to the domain. So I'll hit OK on that, and I'm not going to worry about that too much. Now I need to restart the computer. So I'll hit OK there, and close this dialog box, and I'll do a restart now and restart my my client PC. PC's restarted, so I'm going to just go and here I can log in as Steve, or I can log in as another user. So I'm going to try and do a domain login. So I'm going to go to other user, and it's saying sign into Steve. So I'm going to try and sign in as administrator. And I'm going to put Steve local /administrator, and my password is password 1, and I'll hit OK, and I should be able to sign into the domain with my administrator account. Yep, and it successfully logged me in to my my Windows 10 client with my domain admin account. So that just confirms that my client has joined the domain, and I can do a domain login. So I'll just wait for this to finish, and once it's finished, then we'll go and have a look at our Windows computer account in the domain. So let's just flick over to the server now. Let's flick over. Now we've got Active Directory users and computers here, so I'll just bring that up, and I'll just go to steve.local, and I'll go to computers, and you can see here I've got my Windows 10 client, which is a client computer in the steve.local domain. Let's go back to our client again, and it's still setting things up. Shouldn't take too much longer. But here we go, almost there. Just wait a little bit longer. And here we've got a desktop which belongs to the administrator on steve.local. Now, the administrator will have local admin rights on this client PC. So if I was to go to users here, and I go to this PC, and I look at the C drive, and I look at users, notice that I've got the Steve user, but I've also got the administrator user as well. So I've got two profiles. I've got the Steve and the administrator. So the administrator one's the one I'm in at the moment. Okay, thanks very much for watching.